Hello everyone, so today I am kind of making more of a special YouTube video, and the next video after this is also going to be kind of in a similar format, but I am actually going to be talking about shows today. And so usually I wouldn't be really talking about shows. I usually if I talk about like films and those fun stuff, it's usually films, not really shows, especially Disney shows. So that's just kind of why I wanted to make this video, is because I haven't really done that, and I don't know, it would be fun. I mean, I know I did do like show, but that was more anime. It's a little different, but anyway. And I also haven't seen a lot of people like reacting to this specific show in general, so that's why I want to make this video. So what show am I talking about? What am I hyping up? Well, that is Dogvlog. So I don't know who all watch this show, at least from my audience, but this is actually one of my favorite shows. It is definitely a little ridiculous, especially if you just look at it on paper, but the whole show itself and kind of having the dog, I can't remember his the main character's name, the dog's name, but yeah, just having that character talk, first of all, is very interesting, but also to kind of get more psychological, because we're very psychological over here, to kind of, I think in general, you know, whenever a person gets a pet, it's probably because, you know, that person is trying to look for companionship, or there's like struggles within the family, and people feel like animals can help with that. And also, sorry, I'm back. But yeah, that people feel like, you know, having a pet is also just a fun thing, and you know, why not? So there's so many reasons to having an animal. Okay, we're back. But yeah, you know, there's so many reasons to why people need an animal, but in this circumstance, it's kind of interesting, especially for a Disney show. Like, they don't really talk a lot about it. I mean, they kind of talk about it, but they don't really talk a lot, at least about like divorced families. And if they do, it's like very romanticized, which I know Disney doesn't usually do, because that's very wrong in many levels. So, you know, but yeah, so the main character is divorced, or from a divorced family, and so she comes into this new family and has stepdad, you know, new dad, new siblings, step siblings, and that's kind of where the show really like picks up, and kind of the main storyline, and that is the feud between the older. Okay, so I do know the dog's name. His name's Stan. Why did that take me so long? Yeah, so Stan. So Stan is the main character, but the other main character, from, I think her name is Avery. Yeah, there you go, Avery, and then the older brother. I can't remember his name. I know it's gonna click. I know. I haven't watched this show in so long, so like I am kind of forgetting things. But yeah, so basically Avery and the older brother, that's kind of the whole premise of the show, is that kind of their feud, and how Stan is kind of the middle ground for a lot of the fights, a lot of the miscommunications, which this family does have a lot. Which kind of makes sense. I mean, you know, when you've come from a situation, and from situations that miscommunication is represented so much and so consistently, it's kind of hard to find healthy communication. So Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm gonna be editing a lot in this video. But yeah, so back to what I was saying. Yeah, and this show kind of represents just being a part of a divorced family, just a lot of the things that you learn, and then you have to like keep working on yourself to know like why these things are happening, you know. So yeah, it's definitely, and I mean, this is very Disney show. This is a very Disneyfied, so obviously a lot of it is sugar coated, but for a Disney show, it's pretty good. Like for me anyway, because I also come from divorced parents. It was definitely very nice to like see. It's not nice, but it's nice to definitely see, you know, some representation and just those struggles kind of coming through the screen. Definitely. And yeah, and I do feel like just Stan in general, and what I mean by middle ground, is that because he's an animal, and because, you know, he is technically a different species, if we want to get really technical with it, you know, he's gonna have different perspectives and just different ways of perceiving things. And I think that's also why just having a pet in general is just so nice, is because, well, you know, you're the only real humans that this pet has, and so to him, he doesn't see your struggles, he doesn't see what you went through, he just sees the positives. And I think we all, it's as people, we all have to kind of learn that, because I feel like we worry, and me included, we worry too much about our struggles, and so to have something or some other being telling us that, and that it's okay, you know, not to be so worried about what happened before and what's happening now, and just living in the present. Because I feel like a lot of, and this is so easy said and so hard done, but you know, I feel like things would be so much easier if we just focused on the problem and not the outcome or how it was before, and that it needs to be done now type of mentality, you know, like just taking everything, you know, by the moment, I think, which there's so many shows and so many films that definitely talk about that, but I just really like this show because it talks about it, but using kind of like having a pet, you know, type of thing. What should I say? I do like the show though because they use like, you know, getting a pet to kind of represent that. Because, you know, when you have a pet and you have, you know, an animal, you know, obviously it's not a human, you know, it has different needs, it has different ways of life, and so it's just so cool, especially for me because I have a rabbit. You know, not many people have rabbits. I mean, some people do, but it's definitely not the most common pet to have. And so when you have a pet, especially that's not so common, it's just so interesting to learn more about that creature, about that being, because it's so different from you, but it's also so similar at the same time. And so you just learn so much about it. And I think too, like having a pet, not all the time, but having a pet, it definitely teaches you to kind of look at other groups of people and other creatures and beings in a more empathetic way and a more understanding way. So yeah, I don't know. I just think in general, like, you know, being able to learn, like being able to learn in a family and a group of people with different needs and different things, it's like you learn more about how life listen about yourself, you know. So there's a lot of like really, and Disney is definitely very good about this. I mean, we, everyone knows Disney, obviously, and the lessons that they teach us. So it's like Disney definitely knows what they're doing, especially old Disney. But I think this show just really what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say such a big word and I can't remember the word. But it encapsulates what we need to know as people and what we need to look as people. And I don't know. I think that's just very empowering and very just healthy type of mindset. So yeah, I don't know. This show in general is just so fun, and there's so many moments that are just so Disney, but are so fun. And I just feel like not many people really talk about the show that much. And I don't know, it just for some reason had me felt like, I should probably make a video about this, especially if I don't see a lot about it. So yeah, and I also really love the main character Avery. She's amazing, and I just like the actress in general. And I think her name is Molly, personally. So yeah, but yeah, that's really all I kind of wanted to talk about this show. There's not really much like psychologically and like really in a deep sense. Anyway, yeah, there's not really a lot of like deep, like this really is just like a fun show in general. But I think the message that you can really take out from is that yeah, it's just a fun show, and it shows like that talking animals can be a thing and can be fun, and also that it just does have a good like moral ground, and also having the dad as a therapist is pretty cool. Which Little Money is another show I'm gonna be doing too. Also, the mom's a therapist, so it's like, what is it? Why is all the good shows have the therapy parents? What is this? So, and it was just in general kind of cool to see, like a parent that's therapy, especially like children therapy. We don't really see that a lot on screen in general, especially a person that is a therapist and that does that, and also that comes from a divorced household. So that's also interesting. I'm friends with a lot of people who do psychology, and it is interesting how people who are psychologists have such chaotic lives. But I guess makes sense why they're psychologists. But yeah, so yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about with that film. So or that show, sorry. So I hope you like it, and I hope to see some comments from you guys about that. Like, what's your favorite episode and who's your favorite character? But yeah, hashtag Avery's the best. But yeah, so I hope you like it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.